Each sketchbook tells a different story. Story about our projects, our dreams, the art supplies we are using, sometimes where we travel and the place we like to spend our free time. But most of all, it tells something about ourselves. I like to think about my sketchbooks as some kind of visual diaries. I've never kept a diary for a long period of time, but when I see an old sketch of mine, I'm immediately transported to the exact time and period and place when I was drawing it. Hi, today we're gonna make a sketchbook tour. This one took me almost 2 years. I enjoyed quite a lot. Indeed, I already started a new one. It's a lightweight sketchbook, mainly with pencil and pen. My name is Luigi, also known on social media as Illustrazioni di Lut, and I think now we can dive into the sketchbook. I'm not used to personalize my sketchbooks with fancy stickers or something in the cover, but these stickers I got from Turner acrylic wash in Creative World in Frankfurt Art Fair in January this year, and so it's something that remember me of that event. They are also quite cute, I would say, so I decided to add them on this sketchbook. They are actually the same sketchbook, no brand for this, no information. I think it's something like a private, very small company. Some employees in a flea market, they gave me quite a few. They have a good thickness of the paper that can survive to ink as well. 96 pages, so get ready for a quite intensive tour. Around a 20 GSM thickness. I think it was written also here, something. I have no more specific information to give you about the brand. Almost 2 years, from 3rd of June 2022 to 21st of March 2024. First page was just some exercise here. A trial of a ballpoint pen, a cute cat, just to make funny the first page. The main objective of this sketchbook in the beginning was to train my drawing from imagination. I'm less and less drawing from imagination nowadays. They tell us you need to use references to make perfect drawing, to improve your art and so on. And when I was a kid, actually I was drawing only from imagination. I wanted to explore more my imagination. That's why these first drawings are from imagination, but then I switched to drawing from live in cafes or at people at the television. This girl, I think I was drawing outside. I was testing the perspective from above. She was looking down, and I finished this drawing and I thought that she was scared from something, so I added this snakes that looks a bit like a puppet actually. And this drawing here is copied from Kellogg's Loops, an artist I like. My niece, at that time she was 8 years old, she was filming for me while I was drawing this, so it's a memory I have. Actually, I like the drawing more without the Ecoline brushes I used later. Just some scribbling here to try out a pen. This was how I perceive myself from imagination as well, so I didn't use any reference. So different from what I actually am. It's a self-portrait drawing. Oh my god, the pages are breaking. This drawing, it was a boom of Stranger Things. I think it's called Demogorgon or something like this. This is also from imagination, and I was drawing in the garden, imagining this girl whose hair is transforming in different birds. I started using this sketchbook on travel. I think this was actually the beginning of my drawing on the go. So for me it was something new. I had in my backpack going to a lake in the nearby on the train. And here I was on the lake. So I was sketching all the people on the lake and enjoying the sun, some boats on the lake, people just talking to each other. Another drawing from imagination. It looks a little bit more like JoJo, although I never watched or read the manga. Less interested in the hands positioning. To be from imagination, it's not that bad, I think. Here I wanted to make some drawing. It wasn't working, so I just left it empty. But this one of my favorite sketches of this sketchbook. I also did it outside in the garden. It's a kind of a joker, but young one, and he's playing with highballs, which is kind of funny and creepy. That it's a mixture I always like to add in my sketches. A frontal portrait, which is the ones I struggling more because of symmetry issues. And also the contrast I reach is quite good. The dynamic of the drawing, I really have to say I love this drawing. Took my sketchbook in my summer holidays. I think I was in Rimini here with some friends. They were lying on the bed and chilling after arrival at their phones and talking to each other. So I took the chance to sketch them. Because my friend didn't like her portraits because of the nose. I think the positioning and chilliness is quite visible in these sketches. It was a drawing also I did in the garden. It was kind of a love, but being in a toxic relationship, so kind of being manipulated from the partner and without possibility to see what's the reality. Indeed, the guy is kind of a blind. Also is from imagination, and the face is proportion are a bit off. Sketch that I made to make a tarot card. This is also a video on my channel of the Empress tarot card. The concept is kind of creepy, as I say. Here in this sketchbook I attached the final piece. My plan was to make the tarot's full deck, but in the end I think I stopped to this one. Now involved in a collaboration with artists. Each one of us will make a tarot. I'm going to make the devil. Stay tuned and check out my Instagram if you want to see the result. So the eagle became kind of a silhouette in the final painting, and in the sword there is a symbol connected to some kind of religion and a skull. I like particularly the results of the colors here where the baby is, because it looks like there is a light coming from inside. Going on, I start using this in a session with models in front of me for 2 minutes poses. So I focus only on the face in the beginning, and then 5 minutes. Some sketching studies for a self-portrait as well, but this time was a more creepy self-portrait. Indeed, I had a kind of a strange and a bit dramatic event in my life, and I wanted to freeze that moment with a self-portrait. I show you the final piece. So this is the final result, much different from the sketches. It looks more similar to me. So this kind of black blood or liquid coming out of my hand that is actually not real, but I think it was good to add something for composition. And this spiral there was around my head, it's something remembering me that event. I particularly like how it came out with yellow and black gouache that mixing together made some kind of greenish color. Here I started to study and what I wanted to do for October 2023. Indeed, I made my own card game in 2023 made of 32 playing cards. So I made the ace, the king, the queen, the jack, 10, 9, 8 and 7. It was 31 prompts, of course, for the 31 days of October, plus 1 I added. This was the study for the very first card, the 0 in October, and I made the king of clubs. For each one of the prompts, I decided which one of the cards could have been in terms of suits and number. Gave to each one of these card a specific power. So I invented my own card game also, which is kind of funny. I played a few times and was always enjoyable. Proud of the results of this. I also have actually printed version. In the final version of the card deck, I also drew the back side of the cards and the rule card. So these are all the cards. course, this day 2 spider was the sketch. If you want to check this out, there is a full video on my channel. And this one was the final version of Inktober. So some scribble here and there. Here was watching X Factor Italy 2023, and I was sketching a little bit the singer, basically. Some of them also answer me on Instagram when I tag them, like this guy here. Tell me if you watch and you can recognize the people, kind of celebrities like Fedez here and Morgan. I started a Domestica class about drawing from imagination, because this was originally the objective of this sketchbook. These are the exercise and the practice coming from this particular Domestica course. Drawing mannequins in different positions from imagination, and then putting them in a scene with a perspective and adding specific clothes and folding the clothes. Unfortunately, the sketchbook is not lasting long. All pages are breaking into. So I was keep drawing X Factor. This is Darja, it's kind of a rapper. It was funny because I had really just a few seconds to sketch them, so it was quite challenging then to remember and add details like. And I keep this sketchbook for drawing on the go. So here I was on a train, I think to Bologna or somewhere else, maybe Florence. And I was sketching the guys in front of me. This guy was right in front of me, like 50 centimeters away, and he was so focused on drawing on the video games on the phone that he didn't realize I was sketching him. I was watching another program in TV here, famous people like this guy and Fabio Fazio and Luciano Littizzetto, and characters like politicians. This is also a spread I particularly like. I was in the train as well, and I drew all the people that were unfortunately most of them watching their phones. Nowadays it's difficult to find someone alone, not watching on his phone. Now I enjoy sketching in cafes, because there people are most likely doing other activities like reading or talking to friends or eating cake or drinking coffee. Just sketch with a brush pen. I bought my first dip pen, so I was buying new nibs and testing them. This one, the very first, I bought in a medieval Christmas market, and then I bought this set of manga style nibs. Checking the different effects you can get. Made this flower from imagination. You can reach very high accuracy with a dip pen. It's kind of meditative drawing as well. Some other sketches from television. Practicing tapered strokes. I think this one kind of meet up here in the city in a cafe with other artists, and we were practicing different lines, convey different effects with your lines and different brush strokes as well. And then I drew them all around my table. This was me in first perspective and the guy sketching on the table. I don't know if this was the same meetup, but I was for sure in one of those, and I made these master studies of John Singer Sargent. If you add a strong background, your character will pop out. So it's actually a very nice trick to use whenever you're making a portrait, to add a darker background. Then I bought markers. This was the illustration set, and I use it also on this sketchbook without realizing that they are bleeding through, and this is actually a nightmare for me. So I only use markers now on a specific marker paper that is still bleeding through, but it's not going to the next page. So I sketched these, of course, at McDonald's. It was a kind of a funny combination of a black brush pen with these very bright colors I actually like, but problem is I need a specific paper for it, so my sketchbooks, daily sketchbooks, I don't want to use it in this way anymore. Some portrait study to understand how to blend with markers, but I didn't have the proper skin set that I bought later. Here studying the different contrast in another drawing meetup, so I was making this tonal value study to understand how to synthesize a complex drawing in a very limited tonal value scale and still make it reasonable, and then made a complete drawing out of it, still using the background trick. This is a second study, first study on another sketchbook of this drawing of a girl with a dragon, then became my painting, the new Chinese ear of the wood dragon, which is then became Draw This in Your Style challenge. I start using this one again during February for the figure challenge, so to use some figure drawing and give some line of action, some colored pencil, which I'm not using often. I like the composition of the drawing. I made the same for each week of February. I was dedicating one day to each week of February for figure drawing study. This time male. This was still the dragon from the other sketch. Here also a second sketch coming from a portrait I recently done of Dune, of course it's Timothée Chalamet. Week number 2 of February with some sketches. I also made a video on YouTube you can find. Particularly I enjoy this spread here because I did them very quickly in 10 minutes each, more or less. And this was the final one, 20 minutes with a ballpoint pen and ink. I bought some gray brush pen, only specifically to improve the contrast of my pencil sketches. And here I used for the first time, and I was quite happy because it's not bleeding through. You can actually reach a very good contrast with them. We go on with some February week 3, only using pen as well. And here some drawing also from the same day with pencil and pen. February week 4. This is not the best day, I would say. And this is the first sketch for the Tarot of the Devil, as I said before, but I still have to define the details. We are approaching the end of this sketchbook, drawing in a cafe here in the city. I was feeling my own personal story in my mind for each of these characters. This one in particular was kind of a writer that went for inspiration in the cafe. A couple of girls just gossiping. And here a business meeting. The smile of the people looks like it was going well. Another cafe here, I don't like how it came out with the bleeding of the ink with the water. Also the page buckle, of course, because it's very lightweight. But the drawing itself is a kind of a dark and creep, and the atmosphere there was actually cozy and warm. The drawing itself, I think, is not bad. While this one was kind of mess because I use ink directly. Luckily, the end of the sketchbook is one of my favorite spread. I was in another cafe, actually the same cafe I was a couple of spread before, and here I drew a complete full composition. It was kind of the first very warm spring days, so there was already table outside and people was kind of crowd. And so I had so many opportunity of people to sketch here and there. So this is the end of the sketchbook. If you enjoy it, I suggest you to watch this sketchbook tour here. I have several ones. There is a complete playlist. I'm working on several sketchbooks at the same time, and in the past few months I finished many of them. one going to come as well. So if you like this video, I suggest you to subscribe to not miss it. But for now, I thank you and I see you in the next one. Bye guys.